Subscribe to our channel. Click on bell icon. You never miss any update. Whenever we have a huge set of data, so the data should be parameterized. Parameterization ante it's nothing but sending the test data to the script while executing it. Means you'll be not having any kind of any kind of test data in the script. Okay, so you'll be writing the test data somewhere, and from that we are going to send it to the test. Okay, somewhere means it may be in the Excel, it may be in the WordPad, or it may be in your XML file, or it may be in your database. So wherever it may be, sending the data to the test while executing it means we don't have or will be not having any static or hard coded values in script. This is what we call it as a parameterization. The data driven testing, in the sense as the name indicates, driving the data from other sources. Data driven is a framework. Okay, because we are driving the data from some other sources, we need to have some different structure. So that's a framework. Data driven is a framework. The process what we call it as a parameterization. Okay, so in data driven, the most commonly used is Excel. Means we need to send the data, or we'll be writing all your test data or whatever the data it may be in the Excel, and from the Excel we'll be sending that to the text. Okay, Excel is most convenient pattern, and a lot of people do use Excel only to parameterize. Okay, yes, so we'll see the data driven testing now today. For that we need to work on Excel. Okay, the main thing is Selenium has no capability to read or to write the data from Excel. It has no capability directly. It has no option to read or write the data from Excel. So what we need to do, we need to rely on some third-party jars. There are many third-party jars available like Java, JXL, and few other. So in the course, we are going to talk about Apache POI jars. Apache POI. Apache POI jar are very powerful. And moreover, the reason of selecting the Apache POI jars are it works for both versions of Excel. I guess your idea on Excel has two patterns. The older Excel file has extension of XLS, and the latest has XLSX. Okay, it has two patterns, XLS and XLSX. The extension of Excel. If you save the Excel, either you can save it in the older format 96 and 2000 something is there. So that is XLS. The latest format is XLSX. So your Apache POI jars will support both. Okay. So you can use XLS file or XLS. It has two different implementations. Okay. Means for XLS, we'll be using different type of implementation. For XLSX, we'll be using different type of implementation. So we'll keep that aside. Now, how to access the workbook? Okay, so here we'll use two concepts actually, Apache POI and as well as the Java concept will be used, like file input stream. This will help us to read the Excel file or open an Excel file in a read-only mode, file input stream. So we are going to use file input stream and as well as Apache POI jars to perform our data-driven testing. Okay, so let's begin with that. The very first thing is we have understood that we're using Apache POI jars. Okay, we'll keep this aside and we'll open an Excel file on the screen. So here I have an Excel sheet with a name called DDT, data driven testing, or DDT.XLSX. This is the newer format, XLSX. Okay. And it has a different sheets, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 1, different sheets actually. So what I do is let it the sheet 1 like that. So I have only two sheets, sheet 1 and sheet 2. Okay. So let's see. I have some data in the sheet 1. So we'll see how to read or write the data in the sheet one. But technically, just try to understand how we read a Excel sheet. So I want to read the data which is here, the box what I have given here. So first, we'll be accessing the workbook because in my machine I have multiple workbooks, right? Multiple Excel
Yes. Yes.
workbooks. Okay. So in this workbook called DTD, I may have multiple worksheets again, means multiple sheets. Okay.
Yes.
So then I need to give the
Mm-hmm.
information of the sheet. Sheet one means first workbook. Go to the workbook and identify the sheet what I
Yes.
have on. Then after go to the row
Okay.
and go to the column. Row and column makes the cell,
Okay.
right? So in Excel,
Yes.
we'll be saving the data in the cells. Directly, if I give a cell number, actually this is 3 comma 4, right? Third row, fourth cell, this one, the selenium testing, 3 comma 4. If I directly say 3 comma 4, it will get confused. So I need to start from, I have a sheet called data driven testing, dtd.xls.
Mm-hmm.
In that I have multiple sheets, but you select only sheet 1. In the sheet 1, first go to row 3, and in that row 3 go to column 4. So that is nothing but the selenium testing. Like this, we need
Okay.
to feed from the scratch, means from the workbook first, next
Next
sheet,
sheet.
next row, and next
And
column. Column is known as cell in
cell.
Apache Py. Column is known as cell. So technically, row and column makes the cell. Row and column
Yes.
makes the cell. But here, in place of column, we'll be using a word called cell. Okay, if I say cell,
Okay.
it is nothing but column. Okay, in Apache Py
Okay.
only. That is how it is designed. Clear? So let's see.
Okay. Yes.
So first, we'll go and download and add the jars into the project. Apache Py. See the second link, we have Apache Py downloads, releases, artifacts. Go to it. So here we have a binary distribution and source distribution. You need to take this binary distribution. In that, if you are using a Mac machine or Linux based machine, you can use this tar.zz.
Okay.
Anyways, if you are using Windows machine, then you need to use this zip file, the zip.
Yes.
Okay. Just click on it. It will take you to the place where you can have an option to download it. You can click on any of this link. We have multiple options, multiple servers, and multiple locations where they have put this jars. You
Okay.
can use any of this, okay, and just download it.
Okay.
It's a zip file. What you get once after downloading the zip file, you need to unzip that file. You need to unzip that zip file, and I have it already on my machine. I will show you that with the name called Py. Just here. Py bin. This is already have downloaded it, extracted it. Okay, once you download and extract, this is a folder what you get.
Okay.
Even you need to do that. Download that and extract it. Clear?
Mm.
Next. So we need to add this
Yes.
particular jars into your Selenium project. Go to your
Yes.
com.1030am project. Right click, properties, Java build path, add external jars. Go to your py.4.10, whatever the version it may be. First, add all these jars.
Okay.
The first, this 6 jars. Add them into the project. Perfect. Then click on add external jars again. Go to libs folder. We'll be having multiple jars here. Select all the jars and add them. Again, click on add external
Mm-hmm.
jars and XML. And we have 2 jars here. Even add this. Okay, so all jars which are available should be added into your project and apply and close. Perfect. So now we have added the jars into your Selenium project. So using these jars, we can perform read and write operations on your Excel. As I said, it has two different implementations. I will explain you that. But before that, whenever you want to work on Excel, as I said, the very first Excel, whenever you want to work on row and column, the very first sheet, what we need to do is we need to access our workbook, right? Then sheet,
Yes.
then
Right.
row and cell.
Oh,
Workbook,
cell.
sheet, row and column. Okay, let me call it as a cell. As I said,
One.
column is nothing but cell from now.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. So these
Yes.
are the two different implementation. If you want to implement the workbook, the implementation what we have is HSSF workbook. For
Mm-hmm.
XLS, if it is for XLSX, the implementation is different. XSS workbook. Same like that. Sheet. HSSF sheet. XSSF sheet.
Oh,
Row.
purchase. Oh,
HSSF row and XSSF row. Same for the cell.
okay.
HSSF cell and
Cell.
XSSF cell. Okay, these are the implementation what we have, and how to implement this we'll have a look on that. Don't worry about
Yeah.
now, as of now. Okay, just remember these terms. That's it. Now let us move on to our project. We have already added the jars into it. Let me create a new package so that all the data driven related
Okay.
things I'll be writing in this package. The first example, we'll see how to read the data. So let me create a new class with the
Mm.
name called read data from Excel. Okay, and let us use public static void main and just click on finish. Okay, just a moment, please.
Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
So we have created a class. Okay,
Okay.
now what we do is the very first thing we'll try to read the data from the Excel, and
Mm.
literally we'll read this data. This one, Selenium testing is the data what we read. Okay, so first of all,
Okay.
where it is in DDT
D.
sheet, DDT workbook. Okay, and sheet
Sheet
is
one.
sheet 1. Okay, and row 3,
Yes.
column D or column
One.
4. No, column 1, 2,
Yes.
3, fourth column or column D, right?
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yes.
The very first thing, as I said, we'll be using a Java concept, okay, to give access to that workbook which is in your
Mm.
machine. Okay, file
Yes.
input stream object is equal to new file input stream. Move mouse onto the file input stream and import the respective package. It should be uppercase, and even S also should be the uppercase.
Uppercase.
So it is asking us to match the argument. So generally, we provide an argument called the path of your Excel, where the workbook is existing. So that workbook information we need to provide, and it's in on my desktop. Right click, go to properties, or else we can take that into a variable and you can give that variable too. But directly I'm writing it here. Copy it and paste it here. Add through declaration, file not found exception. Okay, so I have created an object called FIS. Okay, now so it is a .xls file. Just understand it, .xls file. So to access the .xls file, we have an implementation called XSSF workbook, right? So
Yes.
XSSF
Yes. 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 Yes.
workbook. You can create any object. WB is equal to new. I'm creating an object. That's it.
Mm.
New SSF workbook, and feed
Workbook.
it with FIS object. Move mouse onto the workbook and you can see that
Okay.
change to X, B is lowercase, sorry. Import the package of XSF workbook from Apache, right? Next. So WB, now simple, in a simpler words, what I said
Mm.
that WB is an object of total workbook. Okay, total workbook, I have
Okay.
saved it in WB literally. Okay, now this WB contains sheets. WB dot
Okay.
get sheet.
Yes.
What sheet you want? Sheet 1. We have data in a sheet 1. Okay,
Sheet
sheet 1.
one.
I can save this into a variable again,
Yes.
sheet 1. And let me give sheet, whatever the name you want, you can give it S1 or sheet, or let me give it as sheet as if now. Okay, this is
Okay.
sheet. And what type of object it is, sheet is? Obviously, it is an XSSF sheet, isn't it?
It's a, yes.
WB dot get sheet, it will get the sheet. Yes or no? Okay, a sheet can be represented with
Yes.
XSF sheet. Same like that. Now we'll move on to the row.
Sheet.
Sheet dot, go to the sheet and get the row. Understand the logic. Workbook contains sheet, sheet contains rows, rows contains columns. Okay, sheet dot get row.
Yes.
Okay, get row, but it takes an index number. Whenever we are feeding the row, we need to give the index number. So the row of this is
Okay.
1, 2, 3, but we are giving it as an index. So 0, this is 1,
3.
and this is 2. Okay, 2.
1, 2.
Technically it's
2.
0, 1, 2,
Yes.
2. Okay, anyways, it's 3. Third row, it's third row, but we need to feed an index here. If you want to feed an index starts with 0 every time. Okay, and
Okay.
let us take this into a variable called row. What type of variable it is? XSSF row, obviously.
XSSF row.
Next, this is the data we want. So it is in a fourth column of third
D.
row, right?
Fourth.
D,
D.
fourth. So again, I need to
Yes.
give using index 0, 1, 2, and this is 3.
1,
3.
3.
Go to row and get cell. That is the reason I'm saying that column is known as cell. Get
Cell.
cell of 3 and take this into a variable
Yes.
called XSF row. No, sorry,
Cell.
cell. And this would be
Cell.
the cell. Go to cell and get the value. Go to cell dot string
Okay.
get string cell value. Okay, now we'll get the value. Take this value into variable. I'm already saying it's a string. Obviously, it's a string object I need to create. String
Fine.
value var syso system.out.println of value var. Okay, save the test and run the test. Before running the test, make sure to close the source file. It's very important to close the source file. And moreover, see, whenever you get any data from the developer or someone of your team, don't directly feed that dtt.xls file. There are chances that file may corrupt. Okay, so make a copy of it and try to work
Okay.
with that copy. Okay, means every time you need to have a copy of it. The raw should be there. Make practice it, because there are chances while reading or while writing the data, if you perform any miscellaneous activities or some other activities, in very cases I have observed that data sheet will get crashed. Yes, and moreover, some cases if you
Okay.
do read or overwrite operations, okay, and in place of one cell, if you give some other cell, assume that mistakes may happen, right? It will overwrite all the data there. Okay, and retrieving the data back is very
Okay.
impossible then. So that's
Yes.
the reason, make a copy of it every time. Okay, yes.
Okay.
Now if I run the test, it will go
Mm.
access the workbook. It will first go to the sheet, then go to the row, and it will get the cell, and whatever the data is there in that cell, it will bring it. Clear? So I'm running that.
Yes.
You can see that Selenium testing. It's a smell mistake.
Selenium test.
Okay, Selenium testing on the screen. SCLENIUM Selenium testing. Let me save it. Okay. Yep. So that is how it works to read the data. But
Yes.
you need to get it out that is that this many steps required to get a single data, right? If you want to get 4 or 5 data, then do I really need to write all the statements? Definitely no. To explain you the implementations like how excessive sheet row cell works, I've taken up in a clear or this pattern. We can compress it. We can do this in a single step itself if you want. So let me do it. So I'm commenting out these lines till here. Okay, till here all these lines I'm commenting out. Go to source and add a black comment. And here we go. So anyways, workbook is created. wb.getSheet. What sheet you want? Sheet 1. Isn't it?
1. Yes.
So once after done with the sheet 1, again dot get row. Directly you can go with the get row.
Okay.
What is row you want? Row. Row number we need to provide.
2.
2. Dot
2.
get cell.
Get column. Get cell.
Get cell. Get cell.
3.
Dot get string cell value. That's it. It's done. It will get the value. Store that into a string of value 2 or whatever it may be. Or we'll try to bring some other data. Uh,
Okay.
we'll bring this Mumbai. It's in row 3, column 0, right? 3 comma 0,
Row 3. Yes. Yes.
column 0. So let us run it. Save the test. Even you save this and close the Excel file. Run the test. Sorry. So after that, we need to write sysout of value 2, and now we can run the test. Okay, the data is on the screen now. This is how we can read the data from the Excel. Okay, the first process what I have showed you to just explain you how the XSF sheet, row, and all those will work, but this is the actual how we do it. Okay, so we'll see a few more activities now. We'll try to talk about a few more methods what are existing to work with this data driven testing. So I want to count how many
Okay.
rows are there. Let me write as a row count example. How many rows are there in a sheet 1? So how many rows I have in a Excel sheet? Let's see. How many rows I have? 4 rows, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4 rows.
Yes.
Yes or no? So if you talk about index 0,
Three.
1, 2, and 3 rows.
Yes.
But how to find
The
number of
three.
rows? How many rows are there?
Yes.
So what is the method to find number of rows? Number of rows I am saying. Okay, so anyways we need to access the sheet, right? wp.workbook dot get the sheet.
Yes.
Go and get the sheet 1 dot dot. In sheet we have rows, right? Just see what
Get
is the
row.
best possible way.
Right.
Get row will
Get
get the
row.
row. I don't want to get the row. I want to count the row.
Okay.
Dot. Yeah, here we have it. Get last row number. What does it mean getting the last row number in the sense?
Uh,
If you have 5 rows, it will give the last row
last
number
row.
as 5. Okay. So we don't have direct option to
5.
find number of rows. Okay. We have this option get last row number. Using this, we can count how many rows are there
Okay.
literally. Okay. Get last row number. I'm saying it says number. So obviously it's integer. Int and
Yes.
let us say r count, which represents row count.
Yes.
Sysout of r count. Anyways, it will give you in terms of index only. So the answer should be 3, isn't it? Let me run it. Here we go.
Yes.
3. Okay, total number of rows are 3 in that Excel sheet called sheet 1. Sorry, Excel sheet with the name called
One.
DTD. In that we have a sheet called sheet 1. In that sheet 1 we have 3 rows. Right? Yes. Simple.
Yes. Yes.
Next. How to find number of columns? This is a bit tricky actually. As I said, sheet contains rows. Rows contains columns. Rows contains columns.
Yes.
Okay. If you want to get the number of columns, I can get for individual sheets. This sheet, how many columns are there? This sheet, how many columns are there? That is how we can get it. Okay. Let's see how many columns are there for sheet. Sorry. Let's see how many columns are there for row
Row.
4. Okay. Row 4. In the
Okay.
sense row 3 according to the index. This one. Let's see. How many columns are there? How many columns are there? 4 columns, isn't it? 4 columns.
Exactly.
అంతే కదా? We have 4 columns. Let me block comment it. And here we see. Go to the workbook. Get the sheet called sheet 1. Dot get
Get
row. Get the row.
row.
Third row, right? Row 3.
Yes.
Dot get
Get
last
column
cell number. Last cell number.
Yes.
Last cell. Okay. Take this into a variable again. int
Mm.
c count column count. This is just a column count of row 3. Okay.
Row 3.
Yes. Row
Yes.
4 may have different column, row 2 may have different column, row 1 may have different number of columns. Okay, 4 it says. Yes,
Yes.
it has 4. Clear? Here we go.
Yes.
Now, so we'll try to have an example where we'll go and get how many columns are there, okay, in each row. Means for this, how many
Okay.
columns are there? Here, how many are there? Here, and all those things. The first or 0th index has 3 columns, and this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. And row 3 or column 2, row 3 or index 2 has 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and the last one is also 4, like this. It should give the clear, like first row
4.
has so and so, second row has so many columns, third row has so many. This is the output what I need to get. So for that, actually, first and the major thing, I need to count how many rows are there, isn't it? This is the primary thing. So that I can take into a loop and I can execute that many times. Okay. So I have that script already to get the last row count. This is the script for it. Let me copy this. This will go and get the last row number. Okay, so if you have 10 rows, the script should iterate 10 times. If you have 3 rows, it should execute 3 times. For int, I should start from 0 because we need to feed an index number. Okay, and execute it till the I value reaches to R count, right?
Yes, yes.
And I
plus.
plus plus.
Yes.
That's it. Now I need to go and get each row. First, I need to move on to the 0, next 1, next 2, and next 3 or so on like that.
3.
So wb dot get sheet.
Get sheet 1.
Sheet 1 dot get row of ith row, isn't it? Ith row.
Yes.
Get lost cell number. C count, it's nothing but the cell count or column count. Now let us write a statement so that it prints in a sysout. SYSO 0 means it should write like this: 0 index number row has so and so columns. Okay, so I represents index number. I first iteration I will be 0, second one 2, so on like that. Concatenate with 0 index number row contains C count. It may be 2, 3, or 4. 3 columns. Okay, 2 columns, 3 columns, depending on that. It will go ahead and write it in the console. I represent it starts with 0. 0 index number row contains 0 index number row in the sense first row. Okay, contains so and so columns.
Yes.
Let me run it. Zero index row contains 3 columns. 1 index row contains 6, 2, 4, and 3, 4. You can see that.
4.
Right?
Yes.
0, 1, 2 and 3. So on like that. Clear? Yep.
Yes.
Next. If you want to, even you can write one row contains, or first row contains, second row contains, third row contains, fourth row contains. Just have added plus one to it because it is starting with the index number. So let's start with the one so that you'll get a clear row. Even
Okay.
you can use this. That's simple, like how you want to give it in the console, you can give it. But understand the logic of it, how we are getting the data. Okay. If this is just to read the data.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. In the next class, we'll see how to write the data into the Excel sheet. Right. Writing. And after that,
Okay.
we'll go and perform a data driven testing. We'll take the data in the Excel, we'll send that to the test, and we'll try to work with that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So bye for now, and we'll meet you tomorrow again.
Okay.